Hey, hi everybody. It's been a few days. Got some new glasses. Hope you like them. They're green. Green is great color for Earth energy. Here I am once again. We're doing another YouTube. Today, Spirit's been giving me like a whole list of all the YouTubes, all the things that they're guiding me to do to teach everybody about. So it's just every day is one new YouTube after another. So I think I have a little bit of time today, which is good. Somehow I got my phone straight on my memory, and I can do a YouTube that possibly may be a little longer than 10 minutes, right? So that said, we may be doing that today, which is a good thing. But I'm going to just be guided by Spirit, and we're going to go from there. Let me just see. We're going to do our Sagen as we usually do, and I'm going to see what Spirit is guiding us to talk about. Okay. This is really pretty cool. This just happened to me this past Memorial Day weekend. Again, right now, I cannot tell you how intense this 2019 year has been. So we're going to talk about a little segment about that today, and guidance for that with these really rough times. In this past week, it has been absolutely wild. All right, and it isn't just this past week. It has been with the Taurus Aries, the Taurus energy, the Aries energy, the moons, the Scorpio moon, very intense energy, right? So a lot of stuff has been going on astrologically, as well as the calendar astrological energies that come in each year at particular times, okay, that are in alignment with the planets and stars, but are in our calendar year, so to speak, in Earth World. Earth World reality here. Okay, so what I wanted to do with this video, this YouTube, is just explain to you how crazy and wild these times are. In the past week, I myself personally have had just crazy stuff happen, one on top of the other, and that's how it's been going on, to let you know. But excuse me, Spirit wanted me to talk to you. Right now I have a cold on top of everything else, because this whole 2019 year is huge transformation that is ultimately related to having your dreams happen, what you have asked God for. You have to move the blocks, the obstacles that are in your way, that are within your soul, as well as get rid of the shit in Earth World reality that no longer serves you. So for 2019, you're going to be exiting from friends, relationships, people. Right now, this is a phase of that. Situations, working relationships, things that don't work from you, you're going to separate, because people who are not in alignment with the same love energy, or in alignment with the love energy that you are. Total deficits in energy. It's not going to be working for people. All right, so this is some of the stuff that's coming in, has been going on, but to give you a heads up, okay? So that's one of the things. So if you have roommates in your house, they may be leaving, you may be changing up the people, because you're gonna discover that people aren't who you really thought they are. They're out of alignment with you. They're not doing their spiritual work. Heads up. So when that happens, you gotta let them go. Let go. Let Spirit. Give it to Spirit. Ask God for the best outcome for all, from love, and wash your hands of it. Okay, that's what this energy is. So you can move forward with your dreams. This is why this is happening. So that's one of the things. All right. So this week alone, and the last few weeks, we have a lot of stuff going on. There's also going to be lots of betrayals. People who you thought were a certain person, who you gave things to or did things for, things are not. You're going to discover who they truly are, where their intentions really lie, their unwell habits, patterns, both subconscious and conscious, that don't work for you. It is time to 86 them. For those that don't know what 86 means, get rid of them. Bye. Take care. See ya. Wish you well. But you're not for me in the space that you're in. It's unhealthy space of self-love. Gotta move on, because you cannot have your dreams happen, all that you ask God for, if you're going to drag everybody else and their bullshit along with you. Gotta move away from that. So these are those times, right? This is some of the shit that's going on. All right, just this week alone, my new house, the air conditioning is broken. They called in an air conditioning guy. Their rules were that they wouldn't use my guy, had to use their guy. Their guy wasn't 110%. Therefore, he didn't check all the units like he needed to. What happens? You're going to just freak the fuck out when I tell you this, because I really freak the fuck out, right? So what happens is, I'm just laughing because this is fucking crazy, right? All right. So what happens is I tell the guy he needs to check all the units. He tells me that he doesn't have to check all the units, that as long as it's working, it's fine. And I'm like, yeah, that's not how usual service people do. He said, well, I'm only here to fix the two broken ones. Okay. All right. I should have known when his truck parked in my driveway, leaked oil all over the place. And the energy was such that wasn't healthy for me. All right. But regardless, sometimes you have to let the chips fall where they may with spirit, and see and feel out what you should do sometimes. And this is also all parts of these difficult times. How do we handle this stuff? We trust our inner knowing. We bring things to source all the time. So lo and behold, I'm like, okay, I have landlord contractual agreements. They say they want me to use their guy, so let me use their guy. So I use their guy, right? Then what happens is in the next 24 hours, I go to Maryland. I do my work. I'm traveling for the weekend. I come home Sunday morning. I'm like, yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend. I'm going to catch up. I'm going to have a barbecue with my family. I'm going to have a great fucking time, right? And I'm like, yeah, and I'm going to have company coming the following weekend because everything's coming into alignment with what my dreams are and what I ask Spirit for, as well as everybody's, okay? So you're going to see things really starting to happen, but you're also going through, and some of us can get overwhelmed with these challenges because you're going to be losing friends, and it doesn't mean that they can't come back entirely. Everything you do, you guided by love. You be guided by love in its highest form. So trust the universe. If you're feeling like this, know in your heart, bring it to source. If you need to validate, be sure, let go, let God, move on. Okay. All right. So this is all parts of this. But what happens is I get back to my house. I go in there to get a stamp. I'm trying to catch up on bills. I'm always, it's like working, but I love what I do. So when you love what you do, it's not a burden. It's a joy, right? All right. So that said, I go in my other room to get stamps in one of the rooms in my house, and I hear drip, 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 drip. And I'm like, fuck no. All right. I look up, and whole ceiling, water is pouring out of the ceiling. And then what do I see? I see a crack in the fucking ceiling. I'm like, are you kidding me, God? And I know intuitively from my heart space and my connection to God, I know that the ceiling's going to come down. And I'm like, holy fuck, because the ceiling is loaded with water. Okay. Because the AC guy didn't fix the AC, didn't go up and check it, needed to fix the pan, needed to blow out the drain lines, didn't do it. Okay. All right. So this is some of the bullshit that we have to deal with renting, right? But this is all in alignment with source and what had to happen for me. So you guys get a better perspective, because as rough as these times may be, right? And I should have known that this guy with the air conditioning wasn't the healthiest guy as well for us, because he didn't show up when he said he was going to come at 8:30 at night, but you try to work with the people from a place of love and allow them to do the right thing. When the right thing comes literally tumbling on your head like the ceiling, then you got to say, okay, God, what the fuck is going on here? What does this mean for me? Why did this happen? Whose karma is this? Whose stuff is this? What do I have to work on in me? Because ultimately, so that happens. I know the ceiling is coming down, and that's exactly what happens. I ask God to be free of it. The ceiling comes down anyways, right? And I'm like, holy fuck. So I got to move all my furniture, all my stuff, and I just barely moved into this house. I'm like, this is not happening, right? So a friend of mine came in. I had him do the AC unit, and that was all. He had to fix some stuff, and I'm super grateful for him, and he was there, and I'm super, super grateful. So that happens. He comes in, he fixes the AC unit, but the damage is already done. The ceiling is loaded with water from the drip pan, right? And I'm like, oh my God. So the ceiling starts to crash down on everything. But of course, source tells me, so I have most of my stuff moved out, but it doesn't mean that it's not a huge mess. Soaking wet, insulation, cement, wood pieces, plaster, everything's falling from the ceiling, the whole ceiling. I mean, a big, huge chunk of it. And I'm going, the whole ceiling is going to need to come down and be replaced, of course, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck, God? I get this one weekend, right, where I can catch up on my shit and get stuff done. And now the ceiling is falling down. I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, okay. Right? I'm like, I really feel like Chicken Little now. right? I'm like, the sky is falling. So, but it's not the sky, it's the ceiling in my house. And I'm like, what the fuck? All right. And do you know what they said to me? I'm sitting here in my people space going, this is not happening. Because this is thousands of dollars. Now I got to call the landlord. I have to call the contractors, or they have to call the contractors. I have to deal with them. This is huge amounts of time, expenditure, money, all garbage that I don't want to deal with. And I'm like, oh my God. So Clear Heal and Change the irritation that I have when I don't want to deal with shit that I have to deal with. And in the best way for me, and always something better. And thank you, God, for that for me, right? So I'm talking to Spirit, and I'm perplexed all weekend. I'm like, God, I need to know that God's honest truth about what is going on here. And this experience is the shit that is going down for everybody, because we didn't have AC all week. We finally get the guy in. The guy doesn't come when he says. He leaks oil all over the driveway with his truck, right? It was just one shitty thing after another. And then the ceiling is collapsing in my house because it's loaded and soaking wet. Nobody is the landlord is nobody's available, right? Nobody's available because it's holiday weekend. So all of this stuff is happening all at once. This is the stuff that has been going on. I told you about last month with all the crazy stuff. So it's really going to be piled on. But if you see it, you will see the rainbow within it all, and you will see the gold at the end of the rainbow, right? The magic, all right? And why this is happening. Ask God to see, ask God to know, ask love energy that you get the message, know who this is for, what this is all about, what you have to clear, heal, and change to create the best of everything that you need. And that's what you do, right? Okay, so that's how you handle it. So that's exactly what I did. And it doesn't mean that you're not human. I'm totally human. I was sitting there in my space and I'm like, are you kidding me? You're fucking kidding me. I'm just like, what the fuck do I do now? And I'm like all sorts of confused. And I'm like, all right, clear out this confusion. Let me know that God's honest truth. Why did this happen? Let me let it go, because the more I want the answers to come and keep wanting them to come, and the more I'm attached to them, the less those answers that I need and the solutions that I need are going to come in, okay? So remember that. We get all wrapped up in our human people space during these times. It's harder to get the information that we need because we're pushing it away. We're getting all wrapped up in our unwellness, our misery, our garbage, our crap, our wanting something super, super bad, right? These are all the things that happen to us sometimes in a people space when we're not being conscious of what's really going on, and we're overwhelmed. And it is a lot these times. Ask God to be free of being overwhelmed. Ask God to be able to focus, be able to hear, be able to know, be able to let go of, be free of being attached to things and the answers. And then the sooner you do that, the sooner the answers come in. Okay. So I let go, I sleep on it. Of course, in the middle of the night, it's like boom, all night long, the ceiling's coming down, boom, 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 right? And I'm like, oh my God, right? So that keeps me up all night, which means then I don't get the amount of things that I want done. And I don't really feel 100%. Now I have a cold, of course. So it's all in alignment with all this transformation, right? But here is some big gems here, all right? One of my daughter's friends, who she was very close to, her father accidentally shot and killed himself on Friday night. And that helped me, as sad as this is, really in some human ways to say, that really helped me to put things in perspective. You know what I mean? And that's what God kind of does to you. And that's what all of this shit that is going on is going to do for you, these difficult times. It's going to help you put what is important from love into perspective, because here's a 16-year-old who now her father is gone and her father isn't coming back. You know what I'm saying? In this earth world reality. And it's hard when we lose the people that we love. So no matter all my misery, my roommate moving out, her skipping out on the rent, her not doing the right thing from love and all her bullshit, right? And that happens. And then what is the word I'm looking for? The AC not working. And then what else happened? Something else happened. The AC not working, the guy not showing up, and then the ceiling leaking, and the ceiling falling down. It's kind of like in my people space, I'm like, really, God, really? How much could one person take, And during this time, as soon as I found out about my daughter's friend's father, it put everything into perspective. Everything, right? because what matters here is love and the people in our lives. What matters is love, right? And the time and the gifts that we have when we spend with the people that we love, right? Okay, so no matter what you're going through, no matter how difficult it is, everything bring to love, because as difficult as we think these times are, and as rough as it is, what matters here is love. And the things that are going to happen and be happening are really going to give your head space and your soul space a really good perspective on what the truth is about everything. All that matters here is love. And what happened with my daughter's best friend and her dad really helped to put all of my stuff, really my bullshit, into perspective, because what matters really is love. Not everybody's crap and everybody's unwellness. And really, that's what these times are about, okay? And it's helping everybody realign and acclimating to the changes in the planet and all that is going on, as well as the changes and transformation in them, which have to happen to keep everything in alignment and everything going. So the people who are not well in this vibration are going to move on. They're going to cross over and move into a different dimension. And as a last note, okay, on this YouTube for today, the reason the sky was falling for me and the ceiling was coming down, right, is because I have to break the old barriers of the glass ceiling, the barriers for me, that's the ceiling that is stopping me from my success and what I've asked God for in all my dreams. Everything I've asked God for, I have to destroy the old and transform the old. It's an earth world reality, the old perspective of the ceiling crashing down, you know what I'm saying? The Chicken Little, the sky is falling, right? Okay, so I have to break through those barriers that are stopping me, the glass ceiling, the things that I can't get past for my greatest success and my greatest me and all that I've asked God for. So what happens? Literally in earth world reality, my ceiling is crashing down. Has to happen. It's part of the transformation. And I'm sitting here going, couldn't you pick an easier, better, different kind of way, right? Because I'm like, but all the events of this week that have been really wild, we're all going through some really tough stuff. And when you're spiritual, as difficult as you think it is for you, just know this: if you're connected to spirit and love energy that is God, anything that comes up, you're going to bring to source and work with source from love, right? And always be guided from that space. You don't know what to do, you do the right thing from love, but always honor yourself from love in this space, and you'll be just fine. And this love energy space and communication with God, love energy, is always going to guide you. So that's why my ceiling was crashing in earth world reality. So much of this stuff is going to be happening for you guys too. Have to crash my ceiling, the old belief system of where I could go and what I could do and what my prospects were and how much abundance I can let in, and my dreams and my happiness and my family and all that I've asked God for. All right. I have to be free of the old world beliefs, transformation. Therefore, this huge room in my house is transforming. All right. And what's so funny is happened in the room is my studio. So my art studio, right? My studio where I do my spiritual art. So it's creation. Where you do art is your studio, is where you create. So in order for me to be able to create, I have to create new. I have to crash down the ceiling comes down in my art studio, crashes down. So I'm free of the old belief systems. I cannot have those boundaries anymore. They are stopping me from being my greatest me. And in earth world reality, this is showing me that, okay? So these are the amazing messages for this week, or at least this YouTube. Again, I know I'm a little behind because I'm dealing with so much. I'm sure you all know it because you're going through it in whatever level you're at, all right? And if you don't work with spirit, it makes it that much harder. So the more you work with love energy and bring things to source for your answers, the greatest the life you're going to have, and the better you're going to be able to deal with when your fucking ceiling falls down, right? As well as the more you're going to be able to appreciate love and what really is truly important. Okay? All right. Thank you guys. Much love. Love you guys. And we'll see you tomorrow or the next day.